All righty, gang. We are live. We've got a full house today, as you can see. We got the great Kevin Matson joining us. We got Jolene Thompson. We always have Daniel Rubin on Saturday mornings talking about the ReelQuick system. And these two people, Kevin and Jolene, fish a ton. They fish all over the world. They fish all over the place. And we're going to be talking fishing. We're going to be talking world travel. And Daniel Rubin's going to be turning you guys on to his ReelQuick fishing system. We're going to talk about that today. But hey, Kevin, welcome to the show. It's your first time on here. We're excited to have you.
Oh, I'm stoked, Dave. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it.
Now, Kevin kind of got a different thing going on. He really doesn't have anything to promote here, but he has a phenomenal story. And that's all we really have at the end of the day is our story, Daniel and Jolene. So let's get into this with Kevin for a little bit. You guys just kick back and listen to Kevin. Kevin, how did you get into this fishing thing? Where did this come from? Someone had to have taken you when you were little.
Well, I've been fishing basically my whole life, but I am kind of a promo guy. I've been a pelagic sponsored guy since 2004. I fish for Phoenix Rods. I'm an Okuma guy. Quite carry knives, so those guys have really supported me. But yeah, I've been fishing as long as I can remember. I started fishing at about 4 years old. My family's from Minnesota, so they're all living on lakes out there. And I used to go back as a kid and sit on the dock and do the bobber thing initially. And it just kept going and going and going from there. My dad was stationed on the sub base over there in Point Loma. So in grade school, he used to take me down to Shelter Island Pier, and I grew up on the pier, and he took me to the base, and I could walk the docks and flipped scampies and scroungers and all that stuff, catching spotted bay bass, halibut, just exploring the whole bay from shore. And then I got a blow-up raft back late 70s, and I used to float the bay in a raft. Big Bay, Small Bay, Mission Bay, San Diego Bay, and then just kept it going from there. Freshwater, I fished Miramar, Poway, Jennings, all the local lakes for largemouth bass. Couldn't get enough of it. Still can't.
But as a little kid, when you think back to those days of looking at your bobber floating out there in the water, that was it, right? That just did it. You were hooked.
I did it. And I was the kid in the family that would stay on the dock. They couldn't get me off the dock. And then my grandpa realized it. He was like, you know what? This one's a fisherman, because we have a lot of fishermen in the family. But I was on another level as far as the addiction. Like I was just, so my grandpa, when I was probably, I don't know, 10 years old, I went back to visit the family. He had the boat all gassed up for me at the dock. And he goes, you can take the boat out. And I was like, oh, wow, there's a whole different world right here. Once I took the boat out, the family couldn't even get me to come back in. We'd have family stuff, and all my uncles would come to see me, and they couldn't get me off the water. So my dad got a walkie-talkie, and he tried calling me in with the walkie-talkie, and I'd still like give him the whole like, oh. So funny.
That is such that. Well, that is the key to this whole thing, Kevin. Like I try to tell everybody on the podcast every day, look around. There are children that need to be turned on to this fishing thing. And once you got that bug, you were 4 years old. Look at where you are today. It's like you can't keep Kevin off the water. And you're like me and Daniel and Jolene. If you pissed a puddle, you would try to catch a fish out of it.
And I go back and forth. So I did a lot of freshwater. You know, I'm really into largemouth bass. I did the bass thing for a long time. I've been fortunate enough to go up north and fish stripers in the river. I get into that too. Muskie, I've been back to Minnesota and caught muskie and pike. Brown trout out of the White River, swim bait, like that. I think when you bounce back and forth from fresh salt, it gives you a whole different perspective on things. You start looking at things totally different. And you've got your own puzzle in your mind that you're putting together, which might be different from somebody who's specifically a striper guy or a largemouth guy or a tuna guy. It's like when you take that freshwater approach kind of to saltwater, you start realizing all the little things count.
Absolutely. That what I try to explain to people all the time. We bring people in from the catfish world, from the freshwater world, saltwater. It doesn't matter. It's fishing.
Oh, yeah.
And those of us that love to fish, we don't differentiate from the fresh or the salt. It's just an opportunity to get our line wet. Jolene and Daniel, they don't care. They want to fish just like you do. Wherever there's water, it doesn't matter if it's fresh or salt. We start looking at it and start thinking, wonder what lives in this. Wonder what lives in this water, right? We're like, what are we going to do here?
You always want to catch a big one. That's what I like to do. That whole Larry Dahlberg thing is so spot on. You know what I mean? At first, you just want to catch one. Then you want to catch a limit of them. Then you want to catch a big one. Then you want to catch a limit of big ones. Then you want to catch a big one the way you want to catch them, which you get all weird. You want to just catch them the way you want to catch them. I guess I'm kind of at that stage. I'm catching them the way I want to catch them now. As far as bass fishing and yellows and stuff. Even when I fish long range, like I'm not much of a bait guy. I want to catch them on a lure. Like I like fooling them.
I understand that.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people that want to do that. I'm a bait guy. I want to fish live bait wherever we are, whatever kind of bait we can get our hold of. I want to fish the live bait, but I can fish lures just like everybody else. I'm a bait guy, but I understand what you're saying when you get to that level and you just want to start tricking them. That's the thing about fly fishing.
Yeah.
When I go fly fishing and I tied that fly and then I go out on the river and I flick it in there and I catch that fish oh my gosh, there's nothing better.
And each little aspect of it, the guys are so deep. Like the guys in the White River, like bringing their fly tying down and like tying flies on the spot and like each specific fly and hatch and stuff. It's just so, I dig it. It's cool. I mean, it's one of those things where the more you fish, like I've been fishing for 50 years, and the more you fish, you realize how deep it is, how much you don't know. Like there's a lot to know. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, as you bounce around. We got something pretty special here on Saturday mornings, the ReelQuick fishing system that Daniel and his partner developed, Kevin. And we team it up with a lot of Okuma reels, and so it falls right into what you and I do for Okuma. But if Daniel could show this thing to you right now, and then we'll talk more about it and more about fishing with you and Jolene. But this system is pretty incredible because what you're going to do now is you're going to get away from the ferrule. You're not going to be using ferrule screws. You're not going to be attaching your reel. It's the most unbelievable innovation to the rod. You and I have seen a million innovations to the reel, but we've really seen no innovations to the fishing rod itself. If you look at this thing, Daniel's unwrapping right now, and I'm going to put it full screen so we're just going to see this, and you guys could watch it. But look at this thing, Kev. Check this thing out that Daniel has. Go ahead, Daniel. Show it to him.
Hey, Kevin. How's it going today, my friend? ReelQuickFishing.com is a new reel seat system. And we'll demonstrate it with the Okuma. We have adapted to all the Kairos. And every reel needs a foot on it to adapt to our reel seat. It's a dovetail connection. And let's see if I can.
Wow.
That's it. Slides right on, right off. I'm going to do it on this way so my hand's not in the way. Slides in place. It's not locked, Kevin. You just turn this pin right here 180 degrees to the lock position, and this is not coming off this rod. Dovetail connection, no loose pieces, no brackets, no ferrule nuts to come loose while you're fighting the fish. And it looks way better without having all those brackets, nuts, and bolts on the back. It feels better in the hand. Dave?
Yeah, and you don't, the thing is, Kev, you get away from the clamp. You don't have to have the clamp. You don't have the ferrule. Now, this is innovation. This isn't going to grab you right away. You're not going to change all your rods and reels over, but Daniel can put one of these in your hand. You can go out there and start catching that giant yellowfin on that wahoo. Go check it out. I used it exclusively up in Alaska for 2 weeks, and I'll tell you what, not once did I have to reach up and tighten my ferrule screws, which that's a huge thing.
Oh yeah, when you're on the rail and you're totally locked in and you got that side plate in your hand, everything to be solid. I've always got mine completely buttoned down with that.
Now, if you look at this too, think of the backside of this for rail rodding. How cool is that going to be for like Roy Rose or Tim Ekstrom or Justin Fleck? They're not going to be yelling at you to get those screws off the rail because you're tearing their rail up. You're not tearing anyone's rail up. Look at that.
Yeah. Yeah. True, man.
Hey, Kevin, we've made two sizes so far. This is a 23 millimeter, roughly goes for your 12 to 60 pound setups. Okay. And I have a 27 millimeter that goes roughly for your 60 to 130 setups. There is some crossover in there. So those are the two glue-on reel seats that we have. We're developing now a sleeve that we've made. We made 12 of them, I think, but we need to get it into production. It's the same size dovetail that's on the larger one. So anything on my larger reel seat that fits on that will fit on this Winthrop sleeve that will go right over the Winthrop bending butt, strip all their ferrule and collar nuts off of it, and we slip our piece right over the top. I don't have it here to show, but it's a piece that will allow fishermen that use that type of fishing to not throw their gear away and get all new gear, because all they have to do is switch the reel seat out and all their tips work with all their bending butts. So that's the next piece that we're going to do, that we're going to develop. You'll see that coming soon.
Cool. Does that fit like a Mac 30, Mac 20?
Oh yeah.
So we've adapted to 130 reels so far. We haven't adapted to all of them. Every one of them has a different bolt pattern. If you're talking to Machaira, the Machaira 30, yes, we've adapted to the Machaira 30 and the 50, the 20, the 16, the 15. And I actually did the 10, this one here. I did it on the smaller reel seat. It just seemed appropriate to have it on the smaller one instead of the 27. But the 15, 16, 20, 30, and the 50 are all the same foot, and they will go on that larger rail rod sized reel seat, or the bigger one that goes with the 60 to 130 setups. So yep, we've adapted to the Machaira, those Machairas already. Just have not done the 80 or the 130 yet. Haven't had the need for it yet, but we're doing them systematically. Every reel I adapt to, Kevin, I have to buy the reel and take the foot off of it. We do a 3D modeling of it. We print it, make sure it fits, and then we can send it to the manufacturer to cut in aluminum. So everything's done in aluminum, marine grade. Cool. But it does take a little bit for me to adapt to the reel. I have to buy the reel and go through that. Or if it's somebody that has the reel and they want a rod, I've pulled a couple of reels from customers and I've adapted to them while they wait. So anyways, super fun stuff. We're enjoying it. I've been fishing it for 6 years now. The larger one, we got a 287 swordfish on it, deep dropping with a Winthrop bending butt on a accurate ATD 50. I think we got that 287 on. So yeah, it's tested and it's strong. It does not come apart while you're fishing.
That's right. And so moving forward on that, I just wanted to show that to Kevin real quick. And Jolene, have you had an opportunity to fish with that yet?
No, not yet, but I hope to this week on the 3-day charter that I have that Daniel's going on.
Yeah, he's down there in San Diego right now getting ready to go fishing. You're down at the landings right there. We've all spent a ton of time there. I spent my 80s right there. I'm sure I slept right there on that piece of concrete behind you many times.
Yeah, so we're at Fisherman's Landing. I was waiting for the Royal Star to come back in. My buddy cooks on that boat with Roy Rose and the captain there, and so he's allowed me to come down and bring a couple of rods. A rail rod I'm bringing, big rail rod, and I'm bringing a 50-pound bait stick for them to use for the next couple of trips here. And Kevin, yeah, if you want to try this gear out, I'd be more than happy to meet up with you. Drop a couple of rods off. I'm actually, Dave, I'm going to start doing this. I'm going to start announcing that anybody wants to demo this gear, if I'm able to get to the landing and meet somebody to put this gear in their hands to take on a trip, I'm more than happy to let somebody use this gear. I don't really think anybody's going to go running off with my gear, right?
Yeah,
If you guys want to use this gear, I'm more than happy to drop a couple of rods off, or you could come by the shop in Oxnard and do some shopping for your demo rod. I've got probably 20 rods of my personal own that I could lend you, and I probably have 25 different reels of all different sizes, shapes, and forms, and be more than happy to let people demo this stuff.
Nice. Good for you. We'll try to keep people aligned in that, Daniel, and get them headed in that direction to try out your rods. And John Stanley's on here right now asking if he could try one out. Absolutely, Johnny. He's down in San Diego right now. He's going to be going out fishing with Jolene you guys are on a 3-day trip, right, Jolene?
Yes, we are. Yeah, we leave Sunday night out of Seaforth on the Pacific Voyager, and we get back Wednesday, September 1st, and looks like a good timing is good.
Yeah, there's the Pacific Voyager. There's the boat they're going fishing on. Talk about the boat for a minute, Jolene. Don't go anywhere, Kevin. We're all over the place today, and we're going to check in with my buddy Sean Tobridge up in Washington right now. They're knocking the crap out of the albacore. And when was the last time you caught an albacore?
Oh man, it's been. You know what? I fished with Sean on the Legend back in the day.
Yeah, well, he's going to be on our show here in a few minutes. We got all kinds of cool shit going on all the time. Whoops, don't cuss, Dave. But go ahead, Jolene. Talk about your trip.
Okay, my trip. Well, I have been chartering the Pacific Voyager, that particular boat, since Mark Arnos was the owner operator. He came to Seaforth to join Tom Yamati from Helgren Sports Fishing, and in 1981 we were neighbors, and I knew what he did because I grew up fishing in Oceanside, and I was on the bait dock fishing one midday, and he rolls up on the brand new Electra, and he sees me on the bait dock, and he said, "Get on the boat." And so I sure did. I launched my leg over and got on the boat for the first time, and we became good friends. We got to fish together in the 83 El Nino. We caught a lot of albacore back in those days. And so then he got bumped off the Electra, and he had to get his own charter boat called the Tortuga.
Hold on, Jolene. Hang on to that thought for 1 second. We got Sean Tobridge calling in right now. He's on a trip. Good morning, Sean.
Hey, good morning, Dave and guests. How's everybody doing today?
We are great, buddy. You got a bunch of your old regular on here. You got Kevin Matson on here. You got Jolene Thompson. You got Daniel Rubin, and we're all excited to hear about this albacore fishing.
Well, Dave, it's just like we've been talking about since the 8th of July. Fishing has just remained the same. We just got back from a trip. We had 3 guys on the boat. They wanted some fish to take home, so they took some fish home. They had 204 for 3 guys, and we were done in the first afternoon. These were good, skilled fishermen. Been fishing with me for 30 years, but they came up and absolutely put a hurt to them on the heavy line. Fishing remains just absolutely phenomenal this year up here. Our weather's been, for the most part, very good, knock on wood. We've had a very nice summer out here, traveling out on a fresh trip here right now. And we've got about 3 knots of breeze and flat calm seas, and the fish are biting, so we're looking forward to it.
That is insane. My God. How rad is that? How far is the run?
Well, we've been fishing anywhere between 18 and 22 miles. Our water pushed out, so we got to stretch our legs out this trip. The edge is out at 26 miles, so we're going to burn a little fuel this trip.
A whole 26 miles. My God. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
The boat
It's been a phenomenal year up here, Dave. It really has. And we had a striper on last trip for about 10 minutes, so everybody got to see what a marlin looks like up here. So that was pretty cool as well.
That is insane. That is so insane to think that up in Washington you're hooking a marlin wide open. I mean, Kevin, doesn't get much wide opener than that, does it?
No, they fished until they drop.
That's insane. That is absolutely insane. We lost Jolene, but I'm showing pictures of the boat and pictures of your website, and people can get a hold of you. How? Because I know you're on a trip, so we don't want to take too much of your time, but how can they get a hold of you to come fishing with you up there?
Well, they can give us a call at area code 310-357-3669. And on top of this albacore fishing, we've got the best salmon fishing in over 20 years this year. We have a lot of trips going out salmon fishing as well. Fish are biting on the river. They're biting on the ocean. Beautiful kings, beautiful coho. It's a very lively summer up here this year.
Sounds insane. One of our members is asking right now, Sean, are you still fishing albies in October?
We are. We fish through Halloween. Weather permitting, we'll fish all the way to Halloween.
Well, bitch, and what does it look like? Do you have openings? People want to come up there and go fishing with you? Is there opportunity still?
We do. We have some room at the end of September for sure. The last week of September, we got some room, and the first 2 weeks of October, we've got Monday through Wednesdays open, and then the latter part of October, we have quite a few available spots.
And then I'm sure there's a handful of people here that are trying to wrap their head around 3 guys, 200 plus fish. How can that be? How many are you allowed to have?
Well, up here there's no limit on albacore, so they keep as much as they want. You know, the average guys take home usually between about 8 and 15 fish a piece. Just because it's so much food. These guys I just had on the boat, they are some jarring fools. They love to jar it up, or can it up, as most may know. So they're going to be busy for a while.
How wonderful is that? And you guys are running one of the bitchinest operations up there, because look at that boat. That thing looks like nothing like any 6-pack boat we've ever seen. The bait capacity, the fish hold, the whole thing is just a machine, right?
Yeah, it really is, Dave. You know, this boat ran with 15 to 20 guys. Most of its life in San Diego as the Tracer. But now, obviously, it's the Legends. And for 6 people, it doesn't get any better. If you want to fish in luxury, you want to fish on a big boat, we're the boat to come see.
Absolutely. And that Tracer, I wanted you to say the name because that boat has so much history, and it just, albacore have always loved that boat. Now you're up there introducing them to it again. That's pretty badass.
Yeah, it really is. You know, 2 very good friends of mine owned this boat for a long time, J.J. Garrison and Steve Thompson. Between the 2 of them, they had the boat for 25 years. So this boat has seen a lot of good captains, a lot of good fishing, and hopefully a lot more to come.
Absolutely, Sean. Well, thank you again for coming on the show today. I hope we're promoting the hell out of you as much as we can.
Sean, can you hear me? This is Daniel with ReelQuick.
Yes, I can.
Sean, I'm coming up to see you. I'm going to be in Washington the 20th through the 27th of October. I want to get on your boat for a day if we can. So I'll make arrangements with you prior to coming up. I'll give you a ring.
All right. Sounds good. Give me a call.
All right. And Kevin, say hi to Sean real quick before he gets out of here.
What's up, Sean?
Hey, how's it going? Sounds good. Yeah, come on up, man. It's biting and it's here.
All right, buddy. Well, thank you very much. We'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Go catch them up. Send us some pictures, buddy.
You got it. You guys have a good day. Bye.
All right, Jolene. Back to Jolene. Back to your, I'm putting Dick Helgren up on the screen right now. Get that out of there. Where is he? Right there. There you go.
There he is. So anyway, so Mark Arnos, who started in Oxnard with Dick Helgren, and then Dick moved his operation to Oceanside in '78. So anyway, Mark got bumped off the Electra, and so he had to buy his own boat, which he bought the Tortuga from Charlie Lesperance, and so it was a charter boat. And we started fishing with Mark because we didn't want to fish on the Electra anymore, and so we would go on trips, and then we started chartering. Me and another guy did, and we'd get, I think it holds 13 people. So there, a lot of us surfed at the harbor, and so we started fishing with Mark. And then he had that boat for 7 years, and then he bought the Voyager, and immediately he took the Voyager down to Seaforth to join John Yamati. And then not long, a couple years after that, he bought the Pacific Voyager. And I go, oh boy, this is going to be pricey. A bigger boat, more money. But anyway, it all worked out. So that was in 2002. So Mark, he's like the mini long range guy with a lot of the big boats. And so he just retired this year. And I've had 3 charters a year on the Pacific Voyager for 23 years with Mark. And Mark has made a lot of memories. He is so good at what he does, and I really want to thank him for all the fun we had, all the great trips, the memories, and especially the friendships. So that's how I got started on the Pacific Voyager. And now Max Newey, he bought the boat from Mark, and Max is amazing. He just turned 22 years old last week. And as I say, Max is on fire. And I've already had two days this year. I have one in June 1st, July 1st, and we had epic trips. And now we have the 3-day coming up.
Well, they're both Mark Ornos and then Max. Mark goes down in history. He's been around this thing for a very long time. I'm glad he was able to finally retire and enjoy what he's been doing for a very long time. He was very close personal friends of my family, and we've worked side by side for years out of Oceanside and Dana Point during the sand bass years and everything when he was running the Electra and then the Tortuga. And yeah, Mark's a great human being, an excellent fisherman. It's good that he's finally got a chance to retire. He built a hell of a business down there at Seaforth, and he's done a great job. And now, amazing that a 21-year-old is able to buy a boat in this industry and take it to the next level like he's doing right now. That's absolutely amazing. But back to you, Kevin. How did you get from fishing for bass and stuff like that to doing this long range thing, which you do, and you do it at a level that most people can't even comprehend?
Well, I met Kit Cantner over at Graphite USA. And he was like, hey, Kev, you want to do some of these long range trips? And this is like late 90s. And, I started out doing the shorter trips with Sean, on the Legend, stuff like that. That was a Graphite USA boat back in the day. So I do, day and a half trips, stuff like that. And it just progressed over to the qualifier 5. I started getting the 6-day trips, the 8-day trips, the 10-day trips. Those are my favorite ones, the ones down to Guadalupe and putting the time in on the tuna, catching hellos. Had that going in 2004, got picked up by Pelagic, and Pelagic had the qualifier and the Excel, so switched over to some Excel trips after the qualifier went away. Started 15-day trips there, doing long trips, 10-day trips, doing 3 to 5 trips a year. I've got over 30 long trips on the Excel, and just putting time in, just real time, trying to be the first guy up, last guy out, just fishing hard and learning from the Capt passengers, learning from the crew. Some great fishermen on that boat.
What is that, Mike Louse right there?
Louse.
Yeah.
Big Mike, Gold Flag, Tim. That's the boys right there. Renee.
That's a great picture of a bunch of guys that are really making a name for themselves in the industry right now. That was a while ago, huh?
Yeah, that was down at Hurricane. That was a 296.
Jesus Christ.
Hours on that one.
Nice.
I know. He died and went straight down. I had to drag him across the bottom, man. It was gnarly. I pulled him up with a big chunk of coral in his gill plate.
Oh my God.
Oh, it was wild.
But you get to go do all that. But we talked about this last night a little bit. This is probably the #1 fish in Well, it is for us. This is our fish. This is the fish this does it for me and Kevin. This gets us up early, gets us out there fishing in our backyard. This fish is such a phenomenal fish. It's my favorite fish to fish for. You talk to Frank Lepresti, it's his favorite fish to fish for. It's one of Kevin's favorite fish to fish for. Why? First of all, you're fishing in an area that's beautiful whenever you're fishing for them. Second of all, it's such a challenge to get an animal out of the rocks like that, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. All the 105 skiff trips back in the day.
Going on a long range trip to catch a calico bass.
Oh, it was insane. It was like the best trips ever. You jump in the skiff and we used to fish Cedros. We'd fish Bonitos. On the way down, we'd stop at San Martin. We'd fish Sac Reef. We fished Geronimo. We fished Chester's, Punta Eugenia. Incredible fishing. I mean, I saw so much on those trips. So many nice ones too. So many nice ones. I got one of the trips to Sac Reef. I had this fish come out with Corey on one of the MC swim bait charters. Tell me, Dave, if this thing wasn't 13 pounds, it was 14 pounds. When the slug first came out, and I throw up on this kelp canopy, and I fished this slug across the canopy, and this fish rolled on it. And I was so excited, and the bait disappeared and hit my line. So I thought I had him, and I set the hook. Slug comes flying over the other side of the skiff. The bass comes up to us. So we got a real good look at it. And Corey's like, "Oh my God, that's the biggest bass I've ever seen." I'm like, how big is that thing? He's like, "It's 30 pounds, it's 14, it's bigger." But I totally blew it because I wasn't mentally prepared to hook one that big right out the gate. You know, kind of slow yourself, you know, pull it from them, which I did, you know, like frog fishing. You pull it from them on the blow up. But hey, stoked on fishing, and I had the exact same scenario, and I had to blow up on my weedless right out the gate, and I got that one. I got a 10-4 on camera for stoked on fishing. But yeah, I kind of a little bit of redemption, but not. That other one was so much bigger. That one still bothers me. I'm holding right there. Probably my biggest one I've ever caught. That was on the jig. That was on the JRI 4 at San Martin.
Hey, Kevin, how many inches was it?
You know, I didn't even put a tape on it or nothing, but I laid it on the bench seat, and we were measuring out the bench seat. I don't know, 28 inches maybe.
Oh, nice.
But it was a big, big fish, and it was thick all the way through. I've got a picture releasing. I could barely get my hand around the tail, and I've caught enough 10-pounders to know it was a 10-pounder. I don't know if it was 11 or 12. I don't know. It was a 10-pounder for sure. It was a big fish.
Alex asking, you got any good stories about the Qualifier 105 skiff trips down?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what do you want to hear? Us almost flipping the skiff. You want to hear oh, here's a good one. So we go to Bonitos on my first skiff trip. And, you know, we heard all about the Bay of Plenty and everything over there around the corner in Bonitos. So we pull up, drop the anchor, get the skiffs in the water. Perfect morning. It's real calm. We kind of go off in all our directions. And Eric was driving the skiff, Squirrel. And we pull into the bay. We all got surface irons tied on. All cast different directions. We start winding. And all of us at the same time. We're like, oh my God, oh. We've all got these 30 to 40 pound yellows up on our jigs. Boiling and boiling. We're like, look at this yellow, We're like, oh. We come tight to them. I think I was fishing 40 back then because I had to learn the hard way. I started fishing 80 pound straight braid after that because we ended up using 6 jigs on that skiff run just because we were getting bit in like 20 foot of water, and these fish were just rocking us. I was hanging them on my J90, and my J90 just couldn't turn them, man. It was just bottoming out with 40 pound, and these fish would dog us and break us off. I think I ended up landing like 4 of them that were in the mid 30s, 35 pounders or something. But so Squirrel casts out, Eric casts out. He's on the other side of the skiff, and me and my buddy Ian are off the other side of the skiff, and we're both winding, and we both have these big yellows up on our jigs, and they're both real nice ones. They're that 35 stuff, and they're on our jig, and we're like, oh, and then we hear Eric go, oh, he's on bit, and then we hear just that boosh, and I turn around to see his. I think he had like a D8 and a newel or something. And I see his jig stick underwater as it hit the water. All I seen was this bubble trail, and it just goes. And he's holding out his hands like this. It ripped the jig stick out of his hands.
Oh my God!
Oh, it was so wild. It was so wild. I mean, we had like 30, 35 pound yellows shaking, and they'd shake the jig, and these big bass were following them. These calicos, like 4 to 6 pounders. And as soon as the yellow would shake the jig, these bass would mob it. 5, 6 pound bass right at the boat, because we'd have them right at the gaff sometimes, and they'd shake it. It was insane. Yeah, that was my first run on my very first skiff trip at Bonitos on the 105. It was I don't know, man. I came back from that one and I was hooked. I said, this is insane.
Oh yeah, that would do it. That would do it for you. Trying to catch calico bass and having your jigs and scarfed by yellows. Yeah, absolutely. That would do it. Nothing better than surface iron fishing yellowtail. My goodness, that's the most coolest thing in the world. And then Captain Al Clowers, he's asking you, Kevin, talk about a peacock bass trip. They're epic. I need to go one year.
Peacock bass?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going back to the Amazon this October with the Adventure Travel Alliance. That's a pretty cool trip too. The last one we went on, the fishing was pretty slow. We were catching a bunch of the smaller butterflies, and I missed a good one the first day. I had one blow up on my chopper that was probably 12 or 13 pounds. It literally, I was working the chopper, and this thing blows out of the water. He missed and jumps all the way over the chopper, and the hook. So I cool on that one, but that was the only bite I had for the first day. Second day, I'm fishing Sonny Kerr, freshwater bass guy, and very slow fishing. We didn't have much going on, and I tell him, I go, dude, all it's going to take is one bite. That's all I need. I need one good bite, and I'm going to hook that fish, and I'm going to get him in the net, and it's going to make the whole trip, man. That's all I need. And like, not even a minute later, I cast the walker up this. They have points that come out, sticks on them, and there's these channels that run up into the sticks, and you try to throw your walker or your chopper up into these channels on these points and work it along these sticks, and these bass will jump out of the sticks and ambush it. So I'm walking the walker through the sticks, and right when it comes out, and I'm kind of like, I'm out of the zone. The 16 pounder blows out of the water. I hook the fish, and I'm like, I got his ass, and it runs along the bow, and I hooked him on the right side of the boat, and Johnny's up in the bow. So I go over Johnny, and it comes in the corner, and it wallows, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a good one, and it dogs me around the corner, comes up and jumps. I get him to the net. I'm fishing 55 pound braid to a 40 pound fluorocarbon leader on the walker, like a 2-foot leader. And I get him in the net, man. I let out a yell. I was so excited. You know what I mean? Like, those are the type of fish that get stoked on fishing, like for real. You know what I mean? Like, I got
hell yeah.
Other fish mount at the house and a fish story. But yeah, that one was a dream come true. That was pretty cool. You should
Hell
go.
yeah.
You should go.
Well, Jolene, you've got some spectacular stories fishing with the ladies and fishing on your charters. And I'm going to throw some pictures right now of Jolene fishing with the girls, catching these beautiful grade yellowtail down at the Coronados, which was pretty phenomenal fishing a month ago. That Coronados was going off big time, like we all remember it. Look at this. Check this out. Talk about this for a minute, Jolene.
Okay, well,
Nice.
this particular all ladies trip has been going on for, I think, maybe 10 years, and I've been going for the last 5. And Kelly Castaneda in the middle, she's in charge of the charter, her and Rose O'Brien, and then Jen is on the left. She's great to fish with. And so we took the Legend this year, and we ended up going to the Coronados, anchoring up at North Island, and the girls were fishing at night, catching a few sculpin and miscellaneous stuff. But the thing about this trip is there was 28 of us, and there was probably at least 10 gals that have never experienced this kind of fishing before, and they want to come back and do it again. They want to get their own tackle. Some of the girls had to rent rods, and I have to say this. These girls had rat's nests all the time on these. I don't know what kind. Maybe it was Acra. I don't know. But they were the perfect rod to use. But they put all this mono on, and it's just spiraling, and they can't get their bait to swim. And so I actually cut all the mono, or most of the mono, off and retied for them. And one girl got hooked up twice. She she didn't land them, but she's never gotten hooked up before. So to get more women into sports fishing, I was the only girl on the boat. Like I went on the Legend in the early 90s, and I just wanted to fish because I grew up fishing. I have salty parents. My dad grew up in Newport Beach, which is, I talk about on the July 5th show. My mom, her dad was a fish and game officer in 1937 at Watsonville, California, and then they moved down to Santa Barbara. And my grandfather was a hard hat diver for abalone on Stearns Wharf, and my mom worked there as a teenager in the late 40s. So yeah, fishing is my passion, and I love to help people. I used to work on the Southern Cal and the Electra, and when we stopped, I would be out there helping people, and it's just so fun to try to get people that have never experienced fishing enjoy themselves on a boat.
Oh, absolutely. Kevin, you go on a ton of long range trips and a ton of fishing trips. It's really amazing that we don't see more women doing it. And Jolene's trying to show the women that it's okay. It's going to be all right to get on the boat. And as Kevin, as you know, when a woman shows up on the boat, who's going to get taken care of better than anybody?
I think it's the coolest. And they'll say, I catch a fill in the blank. I said, okay, that's what we're going to try to catch.
We missed most of that, but Jolene, as you know, being a woman on a boat, you get all the service all the time. The women get all the service all the time. And I made damn sure of it when I was working. Women and children, the dudes don't matter. We got to get more women and more children into this, not being a chauvinistic, nothing. I'm just saying we need to introduce more children and more women into this. And the thing you got going on the Dolphin right now is taking kids fishing, right? It's kind of a cool thing.
Yeah, the Dolphin, well, next month it's on Sundays, I believe, every Sunday. And with the paying adult, you get to take a kid fishing for free that's 15 and under. And so I threw it out there on my Facebook, and Troy, who's the dad of these, this is Logan on the right and Leela on the left. They love fishing. He's brought them on the Old Glory. They've caught great fish. And so we all met up, in the rain, and we all went fishing. And I really encourage people to check out Fisherman's Landing and look at the half day. They have AM and PMs. and they're on Sundays this next month. And you can take a kid fishing for free. You know, you just have to pay for yourself. And it was super fun.
Yeah, and it's super important, as everybody here, Daniel and Kevin and Jolene and myself, we understand how important it is to turn on our passion to the young people, because if we don't get them involved, we're not going to be able to fish anymore, because there's an entity out there right now that does not want you to fish. And it's pretty unbelievably sad to think that we're living in a world right now where the one thing that's going to, well, I'm going to only speak for myself, that kept me sober is fishing. That saved my life. It's fishing. I've been sober for 38 years, gang, and I guarantee
Hey.
you, if it wasn't for fishing, I wouldn't be here right now. And so there's nothing better. Right, Kevin?
Outdoor thing just me maintain my sanity in life. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't have the outdoors and all the, stuff, I'd go crazy. It's hard to live like in the so-called real world, the corporate world or whatever you might call it, your job and stuff. I'd rather be outside. Like as a kid, I'd rather be out fishing. And yeah, the focus is to catch them, but it seems like now that I've gotten a little older, I appreciate the whole experience more. You know what I mean? Like the Amazon thing and stuff, you're seeing, blue macaws fly over and the river otters. And, we saw a jaguar in Guyana a couple trips back. I remember all that stuff as much as anything else. Like it's just all those life experiences a kid can't get sitting in his room playing video games.
Right. Jolene, I'm not throwing any anonymity out of anywhere, but think about our lives where they are today, because I only can speak for Dave, but sobriety has played a huge part in my life, and I'm not sure where you want to go with that, but talk about it if you want to.
Oh no, I am grateful and blessed every day. I'm living my true self is what it is. And it's a fantastic feeling. I love it.
Absolutely. But it's all about what Kevin was saying about the opportunity to go outside and do cool stuff. And I don't understand why. And I'm never going to understand it. Why is fishing such a bad word in the United States of America? I don't get it. I'm going to say it till the day I die. I don't understand it. I try to fight for our right to fish in the United States of America on a daily basis. Michael Folks, when we do our Tuesday shows, we always talk about the Declaration of Independence was written in the oldest fishing club in the United States of America on the banks of the Philadelphia River. And it was written by outdoorsmen, and they wanted to make sure that we kept the outdoors open for our citizens of the United States of America. And if these people that are trying to close this thing would understand that and know what it means to us, as just the four of us sitting here, we're just a little tiny piece of this thing, but God, we care so much about the outdoors and turning people onto it. I mean, what Daniel's doing, what Kevin does, what Jolene does, they turn people on to fishing, and it is such a huge thing. And as we look back into our past, somebody took us fishing when we were little. That's why we're sitting here, the four of us today, right, guys?
Right.
100%. Dude, we're hunter gatherers. You know what I mean? Like all of us as a people wouldn't be here if we didn't have hunter gatherers, if we didn't have fishermen in the tribe. If there wasn't somebody who went into the cave with a stick after the cave bear to feed the rest of the tribe. That's the way I look at a lot of these things. You know what I mean? Like if you're a hunter gatherer, you were supplying for the tribe. This is ingrained in us. Like how could you even consider taking away fishing or any of these things? This is what got us here. This is why we were here. We weren't just eating plants. Somebody had to kill the cave bear and catch the fish. And, there's fire tenders and there's basket weavers or whatever they might have been. But there was always hunter gatherers.
Where's that pounding at?
Oh, that's my area. Someone's doing a roof.
Okay.
You want me to turn the volume down?
No, it's all good. It's all good. I just was like, what the heck's going on? Someone's in trouble. Someone's knocking on your door. Someone's knocking at someone's door. As we move forward in the show, we'll probably go a little bit over. We'll probably go a little bit later. If Daniel, you got to haul ass or anybody, just let me know. But as we move into this thing, we got to support the entities that are out there trying to keep fishing open. So when you're deciding where you're going to put your cards and where you're going to put your thing, just look at the track record of the people that you're thinking about appointing to the next thing, because we've watched this Fish and Game Commission meeting. We saw what's going on out there, and these people that were appointed, Kevin, it's pretty sad. They've never even been outside. They are the palest people on the planet.
It's crazy. It's crazy to me that you could actually work on fishing game and not be an outdoorsman and not fish. It should be a prerequisite. You have to sign off that you actually are a fisherman or an outdoorsman to understand it. Because I mean, those are more law enforcement, those guys. You know what I mean? They're gonna go up to a guy fishing with his son or something somewhere and say, you know what, the guy doesn't have his fishing license. Whatever.
But they're also, you just got cut off for some reason. I don't know what happened, Kevin. I can't hear you.
Okay.
There you are. Now
Yep.
you're back.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. All the closures and everything else and so much regulation. It's crazy to me that I can't even go surf fishing in places that I used to surf fish. You know what I mean? Like, it's wild.
Yeah, it's kind of scary. And I know I take a giant hit every time I bring this up on the show. It costs me viewers, it costs me money, but I think it's important for people like us to talk about it, because we're going to look up one day and go, shit, it's all gone. That's because we didn't show up. And if you care about our deal, you should show up to these meetings, these Fishing Game Commission meetings. We saved the sand bass. They wanted every single one of them. And for some reason, we showed up. And the people that are wanting to close this were like, do you think if we leave it open that there'll be any sand bass? We're like, what the hell are you talking? They don't even know. They don't even know. They want to close something they don't know anything about. And you listen to Sean Tobridge, perfect example. Up there in Washington, you know how many albacore you can have? As many as you want.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Because they're like mackerel.
Well, look at the bluefin. The bluefin are the same way. Look how many bluefin are around and how long they've been around, and the biomass of that bluefin. You know what I mean? They were, oh, it's so endangered and this. I mean, I get that kind of from a perspective, but I mean, look at, use your own eyes and look what's out there and look what we're seeing. Like it's bad, big time, you know?
But as you know, you can't affect the population of fish in the ocean with the fishing pole. Not even the great Jolene Thompson. She's not that great. Even if she's a great fisherman, you still cannot. Did you see what they did on the East Coast last month? They closed down recreational bluefin.
That's crazy.
Well, they wanted to close it down here too. They do stuff that doesn't make any sense with no science at all.
You know, and the revenue that's created with fishing is out of this world.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Billions and billions of dollars.
Well, it's kind of the same thing where we're going in the Amazon. We're trying to promote sustainability over there. And some of these places that we go, the local villages are gill netting, you know, they're gill netting the river, they're gill netting these backwater lagoons and stuff because they're trying to make $1 to feed their families. And I totally get that. You know, I don't want to take food out of anybody's mouth, but we're going into these places and setting up sustainable fisheries where we pay money to the villagers to be able to fish their waters, but we're also there for catch and release. We catch just a couple to eat on the trip, and the rest of them all go back. Like our peacock bass trip, every one of our peacock bass is measured. We have a guy from the tribe that's in the boat with us. They measure the fish, we take a picture of it, and we release them. We don't keep any peacocks, and we pay the village a fee to be able to fish that water. Plus we give the observer, you know, we give him like $40 or $50 too during the trip the boat with us. So we try to give them a little incentive as far as money so they can feed their families.
Right. I was just reading a few of the comments. Jolene, as you coming up here, as we're getting to the end of the show, do you have any openings on any of your trips, and what do they involve, and how can they get on the waiting list to go fish with you and Daniel? And
I have no spots available. I have a waiting list with a couple people on it, but this trip has been going on since 2002, and I probably have 70% of the same people that go on this trip every year, and they're great anglers, and the camaraderie, they come from up in the Bay Area, Sacramento, local people here in Oceanside. You know, we've been fishing together a long time, and people like those people, they're not going to say, no, I can't go, I don't want to go. They go. And I have 2 other trips, of course, that I mentioned, and I have a lot of people that say, hey, how can I go on your trip? Well, I'll answer them, but they're going to have to be on some type of waiting list, or, if there's a couple people that can't make it on a particular trip, then I can invite them. But yeah, I wish I had another charter, but I don't. It's okay.
that's okay. You can get on her waiting list. We're not going to give Jolene's phone number like we give mine or Daniel's, because we don't need a bunch of weirdos calling her, but you guys can get a hold of her through me or through Daniel. We'll get the message over to Jolene quickly, but we're not giving out Jolene's phone number. So you weirdos, relax.
And another thing, like Daniel's going, that's huge. He gets to promote ReelQuick fishing, and there's a couple guys that are already familiar with it. And he gets to meet like 16 new people, new anglers. And he's bringing some rods that we can demo. And, there's 100 rod holders on the boat. I asked Max the other day. And so sometimes guys bring 7 or 8 rods, like they're going on a long range trip. And so with Daniel's innovative product that he has and he's promoting all over, it's like, for me, like, of course, I want to bring like 6 or 7 rods, but if I could just bring like 4 and then bring the extra reels in my bag, and with, the ReelQuick setup, I would be golden, and yeah, I can't wait to try it and get my own rods. And I love all my equipment. Some of it's old, like old CalStars, customs, like I don't get rid of anything. And another thing I do too is a couple weeks ago, I was listening to your show on a Saturday, and I took pictures. I cleaned all my rods. I took pictures of every reel and every setup, every rod that I have, because I have renter's insurance. Some people have homeowners insurance. And so if if someone steals your pride and joy, your pleasure rods, whatever, you can have those replaced for today's price. And I lost my golf clubs, were stolen. I had renter's insurance. I got $4,200 worth of golf clubs. I was fitted just because of paying $10 or $15 a month. So I really encourage people to take pictures of whatever's valuable, whatever sentimental, or whatever you don't want to lose, because it can happen.
Absolutely. And Kevin Matson, this goes along lines with what you and I do, fishing with Okuma and fishing with the different companies, sponsors that we fish with. Daniel's product doesn't go against any of these guys or gals that we're fishing with, because of the fact that all it is the seat. So I want you to go out there and use it, Kev, and check it out, because this is like innovation like you can't even comprehend. Until you touch it, until you feel it, you can't really understand it. It's something that I had to go fish in Alaska every day with this thing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is incredible. There's no clamps. There's no clamp to the thing. It takes away a ton of the weight. You don't have to keep tightening. You and I bass fishing, you're constantly tightening those ferrule screws. It just happens. The reel starts to get loose in there. There's no looseness. Every seat fits snug.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, that worked good. That would work with Okuma. That would work with Phoenix. That's good.
Yeah, were you?
Up on Phoenix rods.
Yeah.
That's why it'd be cool to have you on here today. You get through the rigorous.
Oh, yeah. That come on, I caught that arapaima, that picture I sent you, that one. I've caught those big arapaima on it. I've caught wahoo on that reel.
On the Komodo.
Komodo. I had that one big. I got a 35-pound halibut on the smaller one. Yeah, I've really put the Komodo through the paces. I love that reel. Great reel in saltwater, holds up. Great caster, good for freshwater too. Yeah, between the Komodo and the McCarty, man, the McCarty was a game changer. I remember when the McCarty came on the long range trips. It was funny. Some of the guys had all their other, companies that they'd fished a long time, and they literally sat out in the galley because all the boat rods on the Excel are McCarty's, actually the reels. And some of the guys fished that gear, and they put all their reels out on the table and sold them. I swear, I'm dead serious. On a 16-day trip, a couple guys took their reels, just put them all out and go, you know what? I'm selling all these. I'm getting McCarty's. That was a game changer.
Plus, they're heavy.
Yeah.
The McCarty's really stepped it up. They are super beautiful reels now. They just work so well.
Good free spool, solid drags, just a solid all the way around reel. I love that reel too.
Yeah, the other day we had Dave Brown on the show, and we were talking about, the way we used to do it. You buy a reel, then you take it to Cal Sheets and get it all blueprinted out so you could have free spool. Mm-hmm. If people don't understand that, on those bigger reels, the free spool sucked because of the drag system on them. So then you had to go spend another couple $100 just to get it so that it would free spool. But the McCarty, out of the box, it was free spooling.
Out of the box. And I had those internationals that I free spooled out and all that stuff. I don't have those anymore. Not saying bad reel or anything, but the McCarty right out of the box is the jam.
Right. It's pretty spectacular. Well, Kevin, what do you got coming up?
October, back to Brazil. I've had an 8-day on the Excel that I've been doing for the last 15 years. I'm not sure what's going on with that right now. They have me on a standby. There's a market director that's going to fish that one, I think, this year from Pelagic, but they got me in a standby thing. I'm hoping I can go with him and help him. And I mean, I got all the gear and all the stuff. I know the ins and outs of all that. So I hope I end up on that one. But I took a bit of a step back from the long range stuff because I was doing just so much of that. Next year, I'll probably do a couple long trips, maybe an 8. I might get back on the Phoenix 10-day too. But travel stuff. I like doing Baja trips. I do a lot of Alco Bassin. Like I go down and stay on one of the islands down there. I know one of the Mexican co-op guys, so he lets me actually stay on the island. And I get to stay on Geronimo, which is cool.
Wow.
Yeah, the beach combing there is cool. It's a pretty unique experience, man. You catch big ones from shore. We've caught 8 and 9 pounders off the beach there, full speed.
Nice.
I kind of like to go and do these little exploratory type trips. Just a lot of Baja stuff. I've done a lot of hard topping Baja trips all around Granada and all that stuff too. That's kind of where I went from the aluminum launch and all that. I'm not sure. I go.
All right. Jolene, this young lady in the picture here, talk about the Ensenada Clipper fleet.
Yeah, this is Regina Sanchez, and this is from the girls' trip. Look at all the smiles on the faces. Her grandfather started the Clipper sports fishing in Ensenada back in the day. And so she grew up fishing off her grandfather's boats, when she was a little girl. And we met fishing on the Top Gun 80 her and her husband when I was working on the boat. We've been friends ever since. And all these girls love to fish. Little Nikki on the right, she's 4'11", and she kills the tuna. And like they're bigger than her, and she's like on her tippy toes. And Elsa, she was like in some type of an Olympic event on kayaks last year. And this is Pam. She's more of a new lady angler, but Regina's great, and I'd love to have her and Kelly on the show with you, Dave, and myself.
Oh, that would be a blast. I would love that, because back in the 80s, we were a bunch of captains and deckhands, and we'd get in my car after work and we'd drive down to Ensenada and we'd go fishing on the Baja, or the Ensenada Clipper, which was an 85-foot sport boat out of Ensenada. Mm-hmm. And we'd all go down there and fish with Oscar was the captain. So it would be wonderful to interview you guys and have her on here and talk to her about that, because that was some insane days back in the 80s, going to Ensenada and fishing down there. It was the wild, wild west back in those days, gang.
I used to go on Dolphin Azul.
What was that, Kev?
I used to go on the Blue Dolphin down there, the Dolphin Azul.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
We go out and fish the island out there. Really good yellowtail fish and surface iron.
It was very, very good back in those days. It was pretty insane. So Jolene and Daniel, you guys are going fishing tomorrow night, and I'm hoping that he has Starlink on the boat and you guys can do an hour of live out there. If you guys can do it, I'm more than willing to bring you on the show and do an hour of live fishing.
Great.
Just tell me, give me a call, Daniel or Jolene. Let me know what the boat's looking like. We don't really need to be catching fish to make it entertaining. Come on the show, be live for an hour so we don't burn up all of his Starlink. But if you can come on for an hour and just show us what's going on, introduce us to the people on the boat, it helps their business out tremendously. Like I keep telling everybody, you come on the show, you do live fishing, like Roy Rose and Tim Ekstrom constantly are on here live. Like the other day, Kevin, you would have been blown away. They were live from the Hurricane Bank on the show.
Roy's classic, dude. I've known Roy since the half-day trips down at Seaford.
Roy was my guest yesterday for a full hour. It was pretty fun. Just him and I kicking back, talking about fishing. Roy's the man. Tim Ekstrom will be on here live. They're on I think the 7-day or an 8-day or something, and he'll be live on here on Tuesday. But Jolene and Daniel, I would love to have you guys Monday, Tuesday, on either one of those 2 days. You guys can set aside an hour, find out if it's okay with the Starlink. Just find out it's going to be streaming for one whole hour, and we'll just be doing whatever you two want to do. You guys can be talking to your friends, talking to people, talking to the captain, whatever. We'll promote the boat. We'll promote everything they want to do, or we won't promote them at all if they don't want any promotion.
Yeah, for sure. Matt said it would be no problem for us to do. He said the Starlink that he has, the bandwidth isn't good, but if we're next to San Clemente Island and we have cell service, then no problem. But we'll give it a try either way. At some point during the 72 hours, we're going to probably give you a couple of calls, see if we can get on there. Maybe we'll get in there when there's a hot bite going on.
That'd be cool.
Don't call me in the middle of the night. I don't want to know about your night fishing. Nighttime's for sleeping.
All right. We won't do that to you, Dave, with that bluefin stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I have way too many rods, but I decided to bring a bunch because I'm going to be doing some hooking and passing on this trip. Love to hook up fish and pass it to the passengers. Dave, just really quick, the end of this show here.
Real quick. Imagine that.
Quick, like I just informally started a 25% discount on all existing rods that I have in stock. So rail rods that are $650 will go out at $500 or so. So I can give a 25% on all the rods that we have in stock right now. And with the reel that goes with it, I can't really give discounts on the reels, but what I can do is throw in the ReelQuick foot on that reel, the installation and the foot for free. So
Whoa.
25%
Whoa.
discount on the rod and the reels at full price, but I'll give you the foot for free. If you guys buy a rod from me at that 25% and you bring the reel to me that you want to use on that rod, I will give you the foot to put on that rod with that purchase. So 25% on the rod discount, and you get a free foot for your reel, which is a $50 savings.
So
Super.
if you look on the screen right now, the QR code's up there. You go to the website, Daniel Rubin's phone number's on there. He's going to talk to you about it, tell you all the great things about it. 25% off. That's freaking unbelievable.
Yeah, it's pretty good deal. And immediately when I posted that, I had somebody come and buy 2 rods from me the next day. So yeah, out of 60 or 70 rods, I have a couple less now. And I think they're, we've got some people that are going to come and see me after we get back from this fishing trip. I got a couple more rods that I'm going to be selling. So
How insane.
can we get them, you guys?
That is pretty special, Daniel. Thank you for announcing that here on the show. That's a very special deal you're doing for everybody. So thank you. And that'll introduce you to this setup. That's an easy way to get into this thing. And then I want to tell everybody on the 14th of September, yours truly is coming to the Bass Pro Shops in Irvine, California. I'm jumping on an airplane on Saturday and I'm flying up. I'm going to do a seminar with Justin Bottrell from 12 o'clock noon to 2 o'clock at the Irvine Bass Pro Shops. I haven't been there yet. I hear it's pretty spectacular there, the way they laid the store out. I'm excited to go there and see if any of you show up. If you show up at that show, at that seminar we're going to be doing, wearing any of my gear, any of my shirts or my hats, we're going to be giving away free stuff. We're going to be Deckhand Sports will be there supporting, or at least he'll have product there supporting the giveaways for Your Saltwater Guide. Okuma will be there with hats and stickers for everybody. All the children that show up are going to get a free bag of stuff from Dana Wharf Sport Fishing, Kids Club, Fishing Club, like Jolene was talking about, the Dolphin. It's all about taking kids fishing. If you show up at the Irvine show, Donna, my sister's supporting us big time there. Giveaways for all the children that show up from Dana Wharf Sport Fishing. And then Promar Ahi are going to be there supporting all the giveaways also. We're going to be talking fall fishing, and we're going to be talking lobster fishing. We're going to be 2 hours of that. And as those of you that know who I am, you know that we started the whole lobster thing, hoop netting. No one had ever done it before. We started it in 2005, taking people hoop netting for a living because I needed to make a living. I'll explain the story to everybody at the show. But before 2005, 2006 season, nobody, and I don't care if your sister's, brother's, aunt's, cousin tells you we were doing it. Well, you forgot to tell anybody. We were the very first people to take people out there for money. And I was doing it for sheer reason I needed to make a living. So we are doing it for 5 hours, 6 people, $100 a piece. And I'd give you all the beer you can drink and all the food you can eat for 5 hours of fishing in Long Beach Harbor. Not because Long Beach Harbor was the best place to do it. It's because I didn't have any money. So we'd put the boat in gear, go out to the oil island, drop the hoop nets in the water and hang out. Because I didn't have any money. I couldn't afford fuel. I just didn't know what else to do. That was how we were doing it. Liquid Coast Highway was the boat at the time. And that's how it all started. So we're going to give you all the things we learned over all the years of trying to catch lobsters for a living. And then, my wife has the largest lobster ever caught in California. So she'll be there sharing her experience, strength, and hope with you guys. And we'll have a good time. Show up. Let's flood the place with Your Saltwater Guide members and Your Saltwater Guide. Yeah, Jolene.
What time does that start?
12 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, Saturday. Or no, Sunday. Sunday. Whoop, we lost Jolene.
Dave, if I bring a rod and a reel, can you present it for 2 minutes on stage? Will they allow you to?
I don't know. We'll find out.
I'll bring one down. I'll be there.
Like I always say, try to stop me from talking. Good luck.
All right.
Get right in the middle of it, baby. It's always fun to watch them when they try to stop me. Kevin, we lost Jolene, but thank you for jumping in here this morning with us. We're not done by any stretch of the imagination. We'll keep on bringing you back in. You're not done being our guest. That's for damn sure. You got so many stories to tell. We could do this for hours and hours. Daniel, thank you for supporting this show on Saturday mornings. We can't do this show without all our great sponsors. ReelQuick Fishing is a sponsor. He takes care of our Saturday shows. Promar Monday, Tuesdays. Okuma on Wednesdays. Fishing Booker on Thursdays. And Manzer Marine and McCarty Yacht Sales on Fridays. Go ahead.
What about Tiffany on Thursdays?
Tiffany Vague does the rod wrapping show on Thursdays. She's not a sponsor. She's just simply a member. It's kind of cool having the rod building thing, which I've never seen a podcast strictly for rod building before. So Thursdays are a pretty interesting show for those of you that want to learn how to rod build. And then one more thing I'm going to leave y'all with is this Your Saltwater Guide, gang. The most comprehensive website ever built for fishermen by a fisherman. I built the website. I run the website. It's all owned and operated by me. Our information is cutting edge right on the front of everything. If you follow along with what's going on, our community second to none. And right now, for a limited time, it's $9.99 a month for access to everything. We've never done that before, but with what's going on with the economy today, I was like, I got to give back. I got to do something for everybody. It was $29.99 for the last 2 years. We dropped it down to $9.99. If you want to jump in, it'll go back up, but right now it's $9.99. And if you get in at $9.99, it'll never go up. Just like Jolene and I were talking before, there's still $4.99ers. When I first launched the website, no one had ever done anything like this before. And I was like, I don't know what to charge. So I was charging $4.99. And then as we found out our information second to none, we jumped it to $9.99. Then when these other people came out with these websites for $50 a month and $29 a month, I'm like, wait a minute, mine's better than anything out there. I had to go to $29, but I'm going to jump back to $9.99. Daniel, have a great day. It looks like you're going down on the dock. All right, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. Kevin, did you like being on here?
Yeah, it was cool. I totally appreciate it, Dave.
Thank you. Jolene?
I'm just like, I'm so lucky, you know, like I love being on your show. I love what you're doing. And Kevin, really nice to meet you.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Good luck. Trip. I hope you guys whack them.
All right. Thanks.
All right, everybody. I'll see you on Monday. Remember, we take the day off tomorrow. It's the only day off we have, and it's forced day off by Elliot. So we're taking Sundays off from now on. You know me, I'm a freak. I'll go live every day, all day. I don't care. Elliot's all, stop. We got to take a day off. We need one day a week off. So here we go. Tomorrow, we're taking the whole day off. Have a great day. Turn off the news. They're all lying. This is the